Welcome to another video and welcome to what Bill Bryson described as the perfect little city. Welcome to Durham! Well, it's safe to say that the start of this video didn't go to plan. Basically what happened was after I set up the shot, which you saw me filming, I put the camera away and I noticed that the shutter here was still stuck in. Now what I think may have happened is I think the cable release may have been stuck on the lock mode. So I think I may have taken the shot, triggered it, put the dark slide in, and then basically, I don't know where I went wrong. I'm not sure if I put the dark slide in, then tried to advance, or whatever happened. I think it's user error. But anyway, that bit was probably okay. Apart from what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a look at the actual shutter to see what was happening. So I went to remove the film back. But instead of pressing the little button round here, which removes the whole back with dark slide in place so it's nice and safe, I foolishly pressed up here. So the whole lot came out and the film was exposed to light. So at that point, in a wild panic, I decided to totally abandon any of the filming and just to see if the camera was actually working. I knew for a fact that the first shot would have been fogged. So I put it all back together, the shutter was working fine, and I continued to take the roll. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if anything came out. So if you've just seen some shots, brilliant. I've actually managed to salvage something from it. The film was Kentmere 400, which I'm interested in trying out. I'm interested in trying out the Kentmere films in general, simply because they're really cost effective. I've heard good things about them. And anything that reduces the cost for what for me is actually a hobby is brilliant. Anyway, so I've come back out today to a winter wonderland that is Northumberland. I've loaded Kentmere 100 and I've managed to shoot basically half a roll of film, just this little patch here, of the hoarfrost on the trees, which is burning off a little bit now. I didn't do any sort of B-roll or any vlogging as such because I was working here, I was working on a bridge, and also I just wanted to enjoy the photography experience because, you know, sometimes you just have to enjoy the actual process of taking a photograph. Anyway, I'm going to put these shots up now and I'll see you at Allen Banks, which is actually our destination. I'm just setting up a shot with a small group of trees over the other side of the river. I'm using the 150mm lens, which, interestingly enough, I shouldn't even own. I ordered a 50mm lens, but for some reason the camera shot sent me a 150mm lens instead. Which, to be honest, I wasn't highly impressed about to start off with, but you know what? It's actually a really nice lens. So I suspect I'm going to keep both, as is always the way. So what I did first of all, before I even get the camera out the bag, is basically I put on the viewfinder app. I've set it to 150mm and I have a look and I see how it's going to look. Now I'm also going to use it for meter on this one. Just going to put my glasses on. And it should give me 15th of a second at f8, which seems a bit slow to be honest. So I'm also going to check it with the light meter app, which is giving me actually exactly the same, f8, 15th of a second. So that's going to be the one. So 15th of a second dialed in. Mirror lock up. This one should be relatively straightforward. Well, something super weird's happening here and I haven't got a clue what it is. Basically, I set up the shot, I had changed the lens, I took the dark slide out, cable release in, went to fire, cable release was working, shutter was going, just didn't take anything, didn't take a shot at all. So I don't know, I'm at a bit of a loss. If anybody's got any ideas, do please let me know, because it's sort of like really stumping me. I know it's a bit worrying because I know I'm missing shots. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the 80mm lens on and I'm going to take a wider shot, which I'm not sure is going to work, to be honest, but really, if nothing else, I want to take another shot now just to see if the camera's actually working. It's so frustrating when you're shooting film and you're losing shots, but fingers crossed that one came out. If it has, I'll put it up now. Cocked. Mirror lock up. And hopefully we'll hear that lovely sound. Way, straight away, not a problem. How weird, how weird. I'll put the shot up. Right, it's a bit of a precarious position for this one. I've had to come down low simply because there's loads of branches and I want to try and avoid the branches. Anyway, I'm going to talk you through actually this whole shot and more so what I'm doing with the camera, and a lot of it's really for my peace of mind because I haven't got a clue what's going wrong. I've put the 150mm lens on again. I've taken the dark slide out. I'm going to check. Okay, that's working as it should be. So it's cable release in. Taking the lens cap off. That's working. So it's unlocked. Light's gorgeous. Times like this I wish I had a roll of colour filming. But I think it'll look nice in black and white. I'm just going to get the light meter up on. Take a meter reading off the trees and the light, which is giving me a 20th of a second f8. I actually think 30th of a second should do it. So, take that to 30th of a second. It's cocked on. Mirror lock up. Mirror lock up if I could actually see it. That's the mirror lock up. Fingers crossed. And not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. I'll put the shot up. I can't believe that I nearly went home today. It's beautiful, beautiful conditions. Anyway, I think I've found a composition, so I'm just going to set up and I'll move you there. The light's moving quite fast, so I think I'm going to have to work quite quick. Dark slide out. Cable release in. Composition's about done. It's not perfect, not bad. That's slightly better. I still want to keep the 150 because I want to try and keep the perspective in check as much as I can. I don't want to get too close to my subject because the trees behind are actually just as important. think the meter reading is going to be all over the shop. I'm going to go for the highlights behind, which is going to be 250th of a second. Or if I go for actual trees, which are the main subject, 50th of a second. I'm always going to cut the difference and go for 125. 125, F8. Unlocked. Mirror lock up. Fingers crossed, I'm going to do this every shot now, aren't I? And not any bit of bother. So now I'm going to try and take a photograph of this tree here, which is on its own. I'm going to switch to the standard lens. Yeah, I imagine it's going to be almost quite silhouetted, but I think it'll work quite nicely. Okay, I've got my composition. You can see which way the camera's pointing, and basically I'm photographing the tree here. I was very wary about this group of trees just over here. When I was round that way, more to the left, basically you couldn't see them at all, and it was just taken away from the shape of this tree. I'm going to go for F8 again, so I don't really expect this to be fully sharp. It may be, but it's not really that much of a concern. Okay, so same drill. Everything's in place. I've changed the 80mm lens. I'm going to make sure it's dialed into F8, which it is. Using my app. Going 30th of a second on there. 60th of a second behind, but that's quite light, so you would need to expose it to make it a bit brighter anyway. 20th second, 15th of a second, 30th of a second. I'm going 30th of a second, F8. Everything's in place, mirror lockup done. Cable release, fingers, a dose of good luck. And it locks. Just like that. That's weird. Okay, mirror lock up again. I'm not sure what's going on here. The only thing I've done is change the lens, which is making me think it could be a lens issue. Well, okay, I think that took. That was weird. It's saying I've got another shot. I haven't got a clue if I have. I suspect not. I'm going to take it anyway. And that's the film over. Again, I think I've wasted a shot there. Who knows? Anyway, if this photo actually comes out, I'll put it on now, and then I'm going to see you somewhere a bit warmer and we'll talk about the film, which was the whole idea of the video. Well, it's pretty much safe to say that my first two attempts at using Kentmere sort of didn't go to plan. Now, starting off with the Kentmere 400, actually I did manage to salvage some shots from the roll, so I was quite pleased about that, and the camera didn't play up at all after the initial cock-up. But as you can see from the shots, I don't know, it's a nice enough film. I'm a bit underwhelmed, to be honest. It doesn't really give me what I'm looking for. It kind of reminds me of HP5, perhaps a bit less contrasty. I'm not a great fan of HP5 either, so really perhaps it's not surprising. But if we go to Kentmere 100, Again, there's not much oomph about the film, I don't think. It's not a very contrasty film. But, you know, you can add contrast in post if you're scanning it, and obviously if you're printing it using multigrade paper, all that sort of jazz, using a high contrast paper, you know, whatever. If you're a darkroom person, you know what you're talking about. It's been a good few years since I've done any darkroom stuff. But, you know, the Kentmere 100, yeah, it was a nice film. I think my nagging doubt in my head would be that whilst it's a nice film, which is costing £5 a roll, for an extra £1 or £1.50, I could get a nicer Ilford film with perhaps a bit more of that sort of classic black and white look straight from the negative. So yeah, I'd use Kentmere 100 again. I've actually got another couple of rolls of it, so I will be using it again, and I would use it again. And I'd probably buy it again, but yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice, I don't think. But still, it's really nice that new films are being produced, you know, and it's always nice to try something different, to get a slightly different look, and I've enjoyed the experience. Now, as you will see from the shots, there were a couple of cock-ups on the Kentmere 100 roll. I'm not really sure what's happened with the camera at all. I'm quite concerned about it. I think one of them could be drastically underexposed. I'm waiting for the next to come back because I've only seen the scans, so I'm not really sure. And the other one seems to just stuck halfway, which does concern me. So what I've done, I've changed the battery on the camera, and I'm going to take it out again and try and shoot a roll, and hopefully have no cock-ups this time. And if I do have more cock-ups, then yeah, it's grounds for concern, isn't it? Anyway, guys, Kentmere is a nice film. I would recommend it, and really, it's cheap, so it's there to experiment with, really. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because there's going to be lots more film stuff. And until next time, thanks for watching, and see you later.